Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to show you how to make this cute Rudolf cupcake topper. So to begin with, I cut out a disc of white modelling paste the day before I made the topper so it was nice and dry, and then I can make the Rudolf on top and not going to hurt it in any way. So I used the modelling paste to make my topper, and I will put a link to everything that I use in the description so you can take a closer look later. So I coloured the white modelling paste with rainbow dust food colouring gels. And you can see here I've used cream, 2 different shades, so just add a little bit more to one. So I've got 2 different shades for Rudolf, brown for the antlers and red for the nose and the scarf. And if you need to know how I colour my paste, then I'll leave a link to a tutorial for that in the description. Okay, so to begin with, I took about a marble size amount of the darker cream modelling paste, formed it into a ball, and then just popped it onto my white disc there. And you can see I'm shaping it. You want the bottom to be flush with the bottom of the disc, and I want to just kind of tape it in at the top a little bit where the shoulders will be. You may want to stick this on. If it doesn't stick, you could use an edible glue, but mine stuck so I didn't need to do that. And you can just see I'm just shaping the top to look like shoulders and making sure it's nice and flush with the bottom of the disc. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a really small bit, like a Tic Tac size piece of the darker cream modelling paste, and that's going to be the neck. Don't worry about the join, you won't see that once we put the scarf on top. So I'm just making sure that fits in place, and I'm just going to secure that with a little bit of clear alcohol. Again, you could use an edible glue if you like. I just like clear alcohol because it evaporates and doesn't leave any marks. So I'm just going to shape that to a little bit like a neck. Okay. So I'm just making sure that I'm happy with that before I start making the head, just making sure that everything's flush with the bottom of the disc. And now I'm taking a small piece of the darker cream modelling paste. It's probably about double sized to what we used before for the body. It's hard to judge because I don't know what your size disc is, so you kind of just have to keep popping it down there and seeing what you think for the size. I've formed it into like an oval shape, which I'm flattening. So when you pop it there, just check for size, make sure there's room for your antlers. If you don't think there is, you can make it a little bit smaller. But now what I'm doing, I'm happy with the size, so I'm just flattening the bottom part of it. And I'm just going to kind of push in just at the top where I flattened it, so like cheeks. I hope you can see that there. Just going to tweak that each side so it's flatter and a little bit wider where the cheeks will come out. Yeah, I hope you can see that. So I'm just going to pop that into position. Again, you may need to stick it. It all depends on how sticky your paste is. Just going to shape it as to how I want it to be. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to use my bone tool to create 2 oval eyes. I always do it slowly, so it's just above where it kind of gets thinner. And there we go. I always go slowly just to make sure they're the same size and in the same position. And now we're going to make the scarf. So I've just got a small piece of the red modelling paste, forming it into a little tube there on my hand. Just going to roll it out again with my smoother, just make sure it's even, and then use my smoother to press it down to give me the width of my scarf. Just going to check that that's an okay width. I'm going to trim one side with the scissors so it's nice and flat. And I'm just going to add a little bit of clear alcohol around the neck area. And then just going to pop that into position. Just going to dry my brush so then I can just tuck that under one side there of the neck. Bring that round. Just going to measure where it needs to be cut, and then I'm just going to trim that there. And then I'm just going to neaten that with my dry brush. Okay, so now I'm going to make the last bit of the scarf in exactly the same way as I did before, just a little bit shorter. Just going to check that for width. I'm just going to trim one edge so it's nice and flat. And then the other end. And now I'm just going to stick that into position. So I'm popping it onto the left side of the scarf. I'm making sure there's a little tiny overlap at the top there. And that's just so I can come in with a dry brush and just tuck that round so it looks like it's coming out from underneath the scarf behind. If you do find this tutorial useful, please do give it a thumbs up as it really helps my channel. Thank you. So now I'm just using my scissors just to cut in some little tassels there on the scarf. Okay. Just going to neaten them off with the brush. And now I've got 2 small balls of white modelling paste, which I'm forming into little oval shapes now, and I'm going to pop them into the eye sockets that we made earlier. I don't tend to put any glue in there because just in case they're too big or too small, and then you can take them out easier. So I'm securing with the ball tool, and you can see I'm not happy with the left one, so I'm just going to take that out and remove a bit. And that's why I don't put glue in there, because I can always take it out and then remove a bit or add if I think they're not even. So secure with the ball tool. And then I'm just going to use the other end of the ball tool to create 2 holes in there. And then I'm going to add 2 small balls of black modelling paste into the holes we've just made. Just pop them in there and use the ball tool to secure. As you flatten them, they will get bigger. So you just want to make sure they're the same size. So now I've got the lighter cream modelling paste, and I'm going to make like Rudolph's like kind of muzzle. Again, I've just rolled it into like an oval shape and kept checking for size. And once I was happy, I'm just kind of flattening it a little bit and kind of curving it at the bottom for the chin. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there just to stick that into position. And you can see it covers the whole bottom part of the face. Lovely. And then I'm just going to model it kind of round just to flatten it out a little bit. Pull it out of the sides. Nice curve at the bottom for the chin. So I'm just using my Dresden tool just to kind of shape it even further at the sides there, just to pull it down so we've got more shape at the cheeks. And then also at the bottom just to help with his smile. So now I'm just making his nose, and I've got a piece of red modelling paste forming it into an oval shape. Again, you can make your nose as big or small as you like. There we go. So now I'm going to make his big smile, and I've got the open end of a large piping tip, which I'm just going to push in to the paste below the nose, and you can see that's given me a lovely big smile. And then if you want, you can soften that off with a dry brush and further shape it too. I'm just going to add some highlights to the eyes. I've got 2 small balls of white modelling paste. I'm just flattening with the ball tool. I'm just going to add those highlights to about 1 o'clock in the eyes. There we go. And secure with the ball tool. So now I'm going to make the ears, and I've rolled out the darker and lighter cream modelling paste, which you can see here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heart plunger cutter, and I'm going to cut out 2 shapes from each of the colours. So now I've done that, I'm simply going to place the lighter colour on top of the darker colour, like you can see there. So now I'm just going to pick up the heart, and I'm going to pinch it at the bottom where it's got the top of the heart, so it curves in like that, you see? So again, close it at the bottom there, and then you can almost shape the top part as well to pinch it to how you want it to be for your ear. Okay, so I'm just going to stick them into position there. Lovely. And now I'm going to make the antlers. Okay, so I've got 2 small balls of the brown modelling paste, and I'm now going to roll them on my palm of my hand so it tapers at one end and is thicker at the other. So I'm just going to flatten the wider end before using my knife just to cut 2 lines in there, one longer than the other, which you can see. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my Dresden tool just to neaten it off a little bit and spread them out. And then I'm cleaning it up with my dry brush, and then you can shape the ends as well with your fingers. I hope you can see the antlers forming there. And then it's just all about shaping them to how you want them to be, and then sticking them into position. Okay, so put the first one on, and now I'm just going to stick the other one on too. And then once they're in position, you can also tweak them as well just to get the shape you want. Okay, so you can see here that I've added an arm, and I've done this by adding a small tube of the darker brown modelling paste. I've tapered it at one end, just going to add a little bit of clear alcohol there, and then I'm just going to pop that into position. And I'm just going to gently kind of blend in at the bottom there, just so we remove the join. So I'm just using my finger just to gently rub over and get rid of the join. You can also use a Dresden tool to help you. Just keep going until that join goes. And then once you're happy, just 2 small balls of the brown modelling paste, just stick them into the top of the arms there. Make sure the arms are nice and flat. So then you can pop these balls of brown modelling paste on. And then use the other end of the Dresden tool just to go into the middle there, just to create some little hooves. And there we go. So I decided just to add some like snowflake sprinkles onto the white disc. I used an edible glue to help these stick, as it needed a little bit more stickiness. So just stick that in and then secure with the ball tool. And lastly, I used some blush pink edible dust by Sugar Flare. For the cheeks, put it onto some kitchen towel first and then take off the excess. You don't want to put too much on his cheeks. You can always build it up, and there you can see a little bit of nice blush on his cheeks. And there we go. So that is your Rudolf cupcake topper made. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do check out my other ones. Please comment, like and subscribe for more, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.